everyone. To senior colleagues and colleagues on the line, I say very good afternoon. So, like Femi said, we're going to have a brief discussion around the subject matter of Parvo. And the focus here is to look at the solutions that is available as of today. Science is all about innovation. It's all about the dynamism. Someone said that knowledge is changing every 6 months, as it were, in our time. So I'm going to be sharing, not really going deeply into all the symptom signs and all of those things which we know, but try to bring to the table the solution, as it were, and then we can engage in this regard. But as I begin, I'd like to mention a couple of things, which I'm sure some of you may know. There are close to 1 billion dogs globally in the world as of today. Maybe the figures are even more than that, but as at the last I checked, there are over 900 million dogs scattered across the globe. And in Nigeria, the estimate stands as around at around 10 million. We are speaking to the stray ones, the ones that are not housed, the ones that don't have anyone really taking care of them. I say we'll be looking at around about 10 million. And, when we say that there are close to 1 billion, over 900 million dogs, only 25 to 30% of these dogs actually are under any intensive care system. All the other ones are out there, either what we call stray dogs or just trying to fend for themselves or not really under any kind of organized care, as it were. And this begs a lot of questions. What happens to these ones? How do we solve the problems that are facing us? The vision of rabies 2030 to eradicate it. How real, how realistic is this going to be in the obvious situation we have found ourselves? Now, when you look at all of this, and again, look at the fact that most of these puppies, they die. 30% of them die close around the time before they are 8 weeks of age. Now, if you look at these numbers I've rolled out and try to do some calculations, from where I sit, we're already looking at losses up to 600 billion in local currency. So that means that something needs to be done. Status quo cannot continue as usual. If there are solutions that are outside of this climb, we must do our best to bring the same, to the table here in our own environment, and then find a way to make sure that we customize the same. So once again, I want to say welcome. I want to say a very good afternoon to everyone, senior colleagues and colleagues on the line. Moses Arokoyo here leading the meeting. So let's go, Jerry, if you don't mind, to the first slide. You can put it on presentation mode if you don't mind. Jerry, I can't see your slide. Are you sharing the slides, Jerry?
Yes, sir, it's coming up.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, Jerry, you can stop sharing. Let me share from my end.
Let me send you the updated one, sir.
All right, so like I said, we're discussing Parvo, and then we're also going to look at tick-borne diseases. The general idea here, like I said, is to try to look at what solutions are out there And then as veterinarians, how can we position ourselves to offer these solutions to our clientele? So let's take the first slide. So this is just to, you need to take one step back, okay? Let's take these slides back to the beginning. Okay. Yeah. So we are all veterinarians on the line, so I will not overflog this issue. This first slide, just to remind us that parvo is a highly contagious disease causing gastrointestinal illness. We know this very well. This is not the slide that is meant for this session, but all the same, it works.
Okay.
When we
I
talk
can
about the
I can quickly here. You just sent me the updated slide, so I can quickly just get that.
Okay. So we all know the symptoms that come with parvo. There's the lethargy that comes with loss of fluid. The animal becomes weak. The foul-smelling diarrhea is something that is very pathognomonic with parvo, and most of the times this is what many of us use to say we suspect that this is parvo. So beyond all of these, there are progressive symptoms. Fever or hypothermia may come in because some of the times the dogs don't present with fever. Some of them come with a drop in temperature and then abdominal pain and weight loss as it progresses. The weakness comes in, and then of course you have tachycardia. In some cases, the dog will go into shock and collapse, and some of the times it ends in death. And we are trying to say this afternoon that it doesn't have to be so. Now, puppies are highly susceptible with severe complications, and so we see higher mortality because of obvious reasons. Maybe the immunity have been compromised, and so we tend to see higher susceptibility in puppies, more complications, and higher mortality is incident. So we've seen breeders complain, veterinarians complain to say, I have a litter of 8, and all of them now they are dead. And pointers are this is parvo. Next slide, please. Now, also to mention one or two things basic to us, we are all scientists online. You all know about the maternally derived antibody and how it is meant to protect the neonates, the new puppies, in a few weeks of life. Science has not exactly been able to say this is exactly when specifically the maternally derived antibody wanes completely. But studies have shown that after 11 weeks, the MAD, maternally derived antibody rather, MDA, there's an error on the slides. The MDA, begins to wane after 11 weeks. And ultimately, by the time this dog or puppy rather gets to about 14 weeks of age, the MDA has waned completely. Now, normally we vaccinate our puppies, we vaccinate our dogs, but we are not able to tell why they still come down with parvo. As scientists, yes, some of us are able to, but some of the times it leaves us in a place where we start to wonder. There are many factors that could be at play. Now, when the maternally derived antibody, again, I apologize for that typo error, it's MDA, not MAD. When it wanes at about 14 weeks, that period between the time the maternally derived antibody wanes and the time your vaccination, goes active, from passive to active immunity, there is that period, that gap, that lag. And it is at that time, if there is a field challenge, even though this dog has been vaccinated, this dog still comes down with parvo because of this gap in between the time the MDA wanes and the time what you are doing as a veterinary surgeon comes to play. By that, I mean your vaccination comes into play, that time lag. If there is a field challenge, the puppy comes down with parvo, and then maybe your clients start to complain but you vaccinated my dog. Why did it still come down? This gap is something that science has not been able to really say, this is the exact day, this is the exact time that the MDA wanes completely. And that is why it is very important to at least do vaccination at 16 weeks, because anything could have transpired between the time of all your vaccination and the time the MDA wanes, and then the vaccination goes active. So many factors could be at play, and the dog still comes down. So there is an established fact that there is an immunity gap, and the issue is, what do we do about this gap? Next slide, please. So this is just taking us through basics that we know. Option one, some of us, we vaccinate. I've seen people vaccinate at 6 weeks because of the endemicity, the epidemiology of parvo in the area where they live or their client lives. They start the vaccination a bit earlier. Normally, others will do 8 weeks, 12 weeks, 16 weeks. Some will do 10 weeks, 14 weeks, 16 weeks. Some will even do 8 weeks, 10 weeks, 12 weeks. The fact still remains that once you start your DHLPP vaccination, generally on the average at 8 weeks, you are supposed to do follow-up vaccination between 2 and 4 weeks. So you find out that vaccination schedule varies across different regions. And like I said, we all know that endemicity and epidemiology is something that is very, very instrumental when we do or speak about vaccination. On the average, 8 weeks is a goal, and then you vaccinate every 2 to 4 weeks as a follow-up to consolidate on your vaccination. But I like to say this afternoon that it is very key, very important that you don't omit to vaccinate at 16 weeks. Reason is what I've just explained in the penultimate slide. The MDA wanes completely there about the 14th week. Like I said, we are not able to pin down exactly when, but we are saying that it's good for you to vaccinate because the active immunity comes to play after the 14th week. And by this time, we also say that the MDA has waned. So it is very important that you observe the vaccination at 16 weeks because they could be a very, very critical vaccination when it comes to the interaction between the MDA and the active vaccination that you are trying to introduce. Next slide, please. So certain factors affect the vaccine take. It could be the colostrum, the early milk, the puppy is supposed to receive from the dam, how much tighter, how much antibody cover is the puppy able to get from the colostrum, and this is traced back to how well the animal, your dog has been well fed, how you have really taken care of her, the bitch, up until the time that the parturition took place. And then the maternally derived, again, I want to apologize for the typo error, is MDA. Now also that comes into play. What level of cover does the neonates receive from the beach? And then the viral load, in this, I'm talking about the environmental contamination, how overwhelmed is the environment, how contaminated is the environment. And I know that as veterinarians, some of the times when people bring dogs to your clinic or to your hospital, you recommend that they keep the dog outside, especially when you suspect that the dog has come down with parvo. Reason is you don't want contamination so that other dogs that are healthy don't come into your clinic or hospital and get infected. So all of that also could be part of the incriminating factor. And by that, I'm not just saying one dog present. I'm saying that when that environment is heavily laden, with contamination coming from parvovirus, this could also be a challenge, to reason that affects the vaccine take. Then the quality of the vaccine you are using, is it able to cover for all the strains of parvo that we have, or it just covers for one or two? This also could be a factor worthy of consideration for vaccine take. Next slide, please. So introducing to you this afternoon Primodog. Primodog has been around in Nigeria. It's not altogether a new vaccine, but it's been off the market on and on. I think since 2019, if memory serves me well. It came in 2019, 20 was there present, and then thereafter, COVID obstruction. There was no consistency, came in a couple of years later, sold out in 3 months, and then one thing leads to the other. Summarily, it's been very inconsistent in the market. I guess this is the reason why, you probably are just hearing about the vaccine today. It's a modified live vaccine in the form of an injectable suspension containing attenuated canine parvovirus for early protection and active immunization of dogs against parvovirus. It has a proven efficacy even in the presence of the maternally derived antibody, which is what we are discussing this afternoon. We are saying that the neonate comes with adequate protection from the beach, but we are saying that the immunity wanes over time, and we are saying even though we vaccinate, we are not able to predict when passive becomes active immunity because there is a time lag. There is a lag between the passive and the active immunity. There is that immunity gap. And we are saying that with Primodog, this problem can be solved. Primodog contains the strain kernel 780916, which is highly immunogenic and with protection demonstrated as early as 3 days after vaccination. And not just it begins to cause antigenic stimulation. Providing very solid antibody protection to cover your neonates, the puppies. We are also saying that it covers across the CPV2A, the CPV2B, which are the major strains, and even the most recent CPV2C. So this is one of the reasons why the vaccines will fail if the vaccine you are using is not broad spectrum, is not giving cover across all the strain. It could be one of the reasons why there is a vaccination failure. This afternoon, we are saying that Primodog, following innovation that has happened, is able to provide protection in the presence of the maternally derived antibody. If I liken this to poultry, you will see that we have against Gomboro. I'm happy we are all science people. We are veterinarians here. You have the mild strain, the intermediate strain. You have the intermediate plus. And some of the times we use the intermediate plus because maybe there's a massive outbreak of IBD and you want to use the hot strain, which is the intermediate plus, because that will break through the maternally derived antibody. And the expectation is that even though it breaks through the maternally derived antibody, it's still able to confer protection. In like manner, we are saying that Primodog, in the presence of maternally derived antibody, can be active, not broken down, not interfere with the maternal antibody, maternally derived antibody, and yet does not allow immunity gap to be in place. So as soon as the maternally derived antibody wanes, Primodog is able to make sure that there is antibody present to protect your puppy. So in a situation where you are using what we have outside, which is the DLLPP, you have a sigmoid curve, you have the maternally derived antibody waning, coming down, which is normal. This is physiologic. It's coming down, then it dips and then goes up. So it goes up because at the time it wanes completely and causes a dip. That dip just signifies that it wanes, and then your vaccination now takes, and so it comes down, forms a U shape, a sigmoid curve, and then rises because now the passive has now become active. So you have it coming down and then goes up. That dip is what we are referring to as the immunity gap, that time lag. If an external infection comes in, if an infection sets in, a field challenge comes in at that point, your puppy is going to come down, even though you have been vaccinating. And that is why we say it is good for you to vaccinate at about 16 weeks. Now, Primodog does not interfere. It just comes down and shoots up. You don't have that dip. There is no U shape. It comes this way and goes up. So you have something that comes this way and just goes up because Primodog takes over immediately from the maternally derived antibody. Now, when it is injected at 6 weeks, there is a proven efficacy, of 80% seroconversion. When you vaccinate at 4 weeks, and you take blood sample and you check for antibody titer, at 6 weeks, you already have a seroconversion that stands at about 80%. So you can vaccinate as early as 4 weeks. That is what I'm trying to say. You don't need to even wait till 6 weeks before you vaccinate. You can vaccinate your puppy at 4 weeks. You can take blood sample, go to the lab, and you find out that at 6 weeks, you already have a seroconversion of 80%. Next slide. And if you decide, to take blood sample and check, next slide, please, you can find out that even at the time of 6 weeks, your seroconversion, your protection is already standing at 90%. Compared to other vaccines out there, comparatively, at the same time that you're talking of 90% cover, at 6 weeks of age, you are recording 50%. And I mean, we are all science people here. You can go check that after the meeting. Use Primodog and place it side by side, take blood sample, go to the lab at 6 weeks and do a comparison. You will find out that where you're already hitting 90% protection at about 7-8 weeks, you won't get the same from other vaccine. And what is the science behind that? The science behind that is that if you vaccinate as early as 4 weeks using Primodog, it does not in any way tamper with the maternally derived antibody. Permit me to use the word, it consolidates on what is present. And by consolidation, I'm not using it in the English word. I'm just saying that you have succeeded to establish a very solid immune foundation. You have succeeded in blotting out the immunity gap because it does not dip, it just wanes, and Primodog takes over. So there is a solid cover against CPV. Now, it is advised that you start at 4 weeks. You can also do 6 weeks. It all depends on the endemicity, the epidemiology of parvo in your area, in your vicinity. And you can now continue 8 weeks vaccination for your puppy. So Primodog is not a replacement for DHLPP. It is an early cover against parvo. You do it at 4 weeks or you do it at 6 weeks, and then at 8 weeks, you just go on to do your normal DHLPP. You follow the normal regimen. But we are saying that at 4 weeks, you can already start to vaccinate your puppy because it is a monovalent vaccine. It is targeted at parvo. It is not a monovalent vaccine. You do Primodog, a monovalent vaccine at 4 weeks or 6 weeks, and at 8 weeks, you just go on with your DHLPP. What you have succeeded to do is to establish a very solid immune foundation against parvoviral infection. Next slide, please. This is just to give you an idea of the vaccine, what it looks like in a vial, just like any other of the vaccines that you use for your dogs. Next slide. And we are just saying it is on time, it is on target, it comes in earlier. 3 days after vaccination, antibody begins to build already. You can achieve up to 90% seroconversion if you do at 4 weeks. By the time your dog is already approaching 7 weeks, thereabout 8 weeks of age, you're already talking of 90% protection for your dog if you vaccinate as early as 4 weeks. You can vaccinate as early as 4 weeks because it does not interfere whatsoever with the maternally derived antibody. And we are saying in summary that it covers in broad spectrum against all the strain, the CPV2A, the CPV2B, and the most recent CPV2C. You know, parvo has been with us since 1978, and we are saying that with Primodog, finally, the solution is here. You can go in early, which is the challenge, and close that gap ahead of time. And by the time your maternally derived immunity dips, there is no challenge because this just takes over, and then you have protection against parvoviral infection. So I will go through very quickly in some 10 minutes the tick-borne solution that we have. So we have enough room for questions and to interact. We are veterinarians online. I'm not just going to drop this on you and you take it away. Feel free. You ask your question, we interact. Science is all about learning. It's all about updating ourselves. We are just saying there is a solution, something of innovation that is currently here with us now. I mean, why should I keep driving a Rolls Royce, a B2 if I have access to a Rolls Royce? this is what we are talking about. If there is something that works better, if there is an innovation, I want to be part of it. I want to use Primodog. I want to solve the problem for my clients, for myself, for pet owners, for breeders, using Primodog. Early protection as early as 4 weeks. Broad spectrum, 2A, 2B, 2C is covered. And so you don't need to worry about whether it covers just one strain or the other. And we're saying as early as 3 weeks, as 3 days, you already begin to see antibody build up, and it is very, very safe for your puppies to be used as early as 4 weeks. Next slide. Let's talk about tick-borne solution, what we have. Next slide, please. I'm sure some of you would know Frontline spray is a friponene-based acaricide, efficacious against fleas in 24 hours. Is that efficacious too within 48 hours against ticks and has a very long-lasting effect. By that I mean it can last to cover your dogs for 3 months. It's water resistant because it's lipophilic in nature. I mean, I'm not saying that bathe your dog immediately after using. I'm saying that even if someone pours water on your dog immediately after using Frontline, you don't need to go back to use it again. You just apply. If you are using the combo one, you just drop it on your dog at a particular spot. By itself, it migrates through the entire surface and concentrates. Is able to stay for 3 months. If you are spraying your dog, then you need to spray both sides. You spray your dog from the side, you spray from the other side, you spray the top of the back, you spray underneath, and that suffices. By itself, it sprays. But if you are using the pour on, you just drop at points across the back of your dog, your puppy, or the grown one, and by itself, it dissipates all over your dog. It ends up in the sebaceous gland, and for this reason, for 3 months, you have good cover if you use Frontline, Frontline spray. Next slide, please. Excuse me. So it's there have been no record of local irritation as far as I know. This product has been around too for a while. There have been no. It's extremely rare to have seen any report of local irritation. Nicely, it's safe on puppies from 2 days of age. You can begin to spray your puppy using Frontline spray. It's also safe on the pregnant bitches and the lactating ones. And like I said before, it protects for 3 months. Very quickly, let's go to next slide. I want to speak on something that is very innovative, something that is also fairly new. When I say new, we are not talking of 3, 4, 5 years. Some of these things are out there. It's just waiting for our recognition. And like Mike Murdoch said, he said, all that you need in life is around you, awaiting your recognition. Everything that you need in life is just right there around you, waiting for you to recognize that it's there. And beyond NESGAL, beyond Primodog, beyond Frontline, even in our lives as individuals, some of the solutions that we need is lying right there around you, awaiting your recognition. Somebody wants to employ someone to work in his organization. He fails to see that that lady, that fellow, who is your receptionist, has all the qualities that you just advertise outside. All you needed to do was to increase salary and upgrade this guy to become that person you are looking for. All that you need in life, most of the time, and from my experience, they are all around you, just awaiting your recognition. So we move on. Next gas spectra. Somebody's mic is on. Kindly mute your mic for us, please, if you don't mind. Dr. Gochuku, I think your mic is on. If you don't mind, help us. So next gas spectra, as I wind down, is the latest generation endectocide. It contains the milbemycin and the afoxalinina. These two are the active ingredients that are present in next gas spectra. It's a chewable formulation for oral administration. Very soft chew and highly palatable because there is an element of the flavor. Ugochukwu, Dr. Ugochukwu, please. Can you mute your mic for us, please? Thank you. Just mute the mic. Your mic is not on mute, Dr. Ugochukwu. Can you mute? Fantastic. Thank you. So it's a soft chew. So it's easy for your dog to chew on. It's highly palatable because there's a flavor of beef added to it. So you just need to drop it for your dog, and your dog is attracted by that nice smell, aroma rather, not smell. And then it's highly palatable, like I said, because of the beef flavor and maximum concentration, plasma concentration in 1 to 4 hours. And so it begins to provide cover for your dog. It's an endo and ectoparasite. Next slide, please. Next slide. Jerry, who is Kate here?
Yes, just a moment. I was trying to
Okay.
control the person who was talking, so
Okay.
back.
All right, so it's effective against endo and ectoparasites, so if you are using NextGuard Spectra, what it means is that you don't need to deworm. I mean, if your dog is pregnant and you are worried that there could be problems of worm, then NextGuard Spectra is the way to go. By the way, there is a difference between NextGuard and NextGuard Spectra. NextGuard does only endo, while NextGuard Spectra does endo and ecto, and that is the reason why in the country we have NextGuard Spectra. I mean, why waste your money to do endo and then come back and use something else for ecto if you can do both at once? NextGuard Spectra is specifically designed for dogs, highly efficacious against arthropods. By that I mean fleas, ticks, and mites. And then, of course, prevention against heartworm, lungworm, eyeworm, the esophageal worm infection. You can use it to treat your roundworm, whipworms, hookworm, and of course, that man is affected by hookworm. So by using NextGuard, you are actually helping to prevent zoonotic risks. Next slide, please. So as we wind down, this is just a pictorial representation of what NextGuard does. It takes care of the fleas, it takes care of the ticks, the ear mites, it takes care of them, the Spirosacca lupi, the Demodex, the roundworms, the whipworms. I mean, all of these worms, it takes care of them. So it's one stop, you just take one tablet and you are solving endo situation, ecto situation with just one tab. You give your dog one tab, you are taking care of intestinal worms, you are taking care of endoparasite, you are taking care of the ectoparasite just with one tab. I say again, if I have the privilege to use a Rolls Royce, why should I continue to use a B2? I mean, why should I keep struggling if something is on the table for better ease of life? And this is what NextGuard is all about. It's here. You don't need to recognize it if you have not recognized before. I'm putting it right in front of you to say this is a solution. Like I said, Mike Murdoch, and I quoted him. He said, everything you need in life is just awaiting recognition. If you recognize in NextGuard Spectra today, one-stop solution for your dog, endo and ectoparasite, then you will not stress anymore. You won't be worried anymore that this pregnant bitch, how do I handle? How don't I cause abortion? You can use NextGuard even when the dog is pregnant, and you can solve that endoparasitic situation. Next slide as we try to close. Excellent safety profile. What do I mean by that? You can use 5 times the dose of NextGuard. Science has proven that nothing happens. Nothing happens to your dog, even if you expose them to 5 times. Maybe you give NextGuard, you just drop it for your dog in the morning and you went out and your son did not know because the dog is very aggressive. You don't have to hold the dog. They just throw another tap to the dog and he eats it. Your wife comes in the evening not knowing that the dog has not been dewormed and she throws another one. And this thing is very palatable and the dog eats three tablets in one day. We are saying up to 5 of that. Nothing happens to the dog. One dose and done. All solution to endo and ectoparasite. And you can start giving your puppies from 8 weeks of age. And this thing lasts for 31 days. So you can give one tap to your dog every month, and it can take care of all of these external and internal parasites that affect your dog. Having said all of this, I will pause. It's 1 hour. I've done 40 minutes or 35 minutes. I would now like us to look at questions, clarifications. Let's engage. A very good afternoon, everyone.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Moses. We have about 90 participants on the call. Impressive. So I was expecting 50 to 70, but looks like we're interested in the new generation Rolls Royce, as Dr. Moses has put it, and I'm happy that it's here. So we've spoken about three solutions, Primodog, and you could keep your questions coming. I will allow you to unmute yourself shortly. Three solutions, Primodog. We said every other vaccine is fine, but there's none like Primodog because it doesn't interfere with maternal antibody. And then, of course, the scare everywhere that is causing our breeders not to sell their puppy is because when people buy it at 8 to 9 weeks, they're afraid that it will come down with parvovirus. And what Dr. Moses, our consultant, has just said is that, hey, there's an immunity gap as early as 4 weeks. If you give Primodog subcute, it doesn't interfere, it doesn't clash with maternal antibody. More importantly, your protection can be as high as 80 to 90, as opposed to using other vaccine within that age period that confers 50% cover. It's the Rolls Royce in the industry. It's expensive, but again, what is more than losing a 1.3 million naira puppy for something you can save with just 10 to 15,000 naira? So I think it is worth it. And then he spoke about frontline, just like a recap. You could use it if water touches the dog's body, is still effective. And finally, he spoke about nest guard. All vets problem, most of the vet problem other than parvo, all these viral and bacterial diseases are usually worms and ticks. Ticks transfer most of these diseases also. With one tablet, is one and done. You will be resting. There's a reason why vets are not fat. You are struggling too hard. With one tablet of NextGuard, just administer one tablet and then just go and sleep. If you want to charge more, maybe you could do some other funny things. But again, with one tablet of NextGuard, I think you're done. So at this moment, I want to just open the room for question. I changed the setting while he was talking to disallow people from unmuting themselves, but I've updated the settings now. If you have any question, there are two ways. Put it in on the chat box. I could pick it up, or you could raise up your hand. I can acknowledge you and allow you ask this question. Right. So somebody said, "Wow, interesting. What could the dog be? What's so I don't understand this. What could the dog be? Well, he's a dog. That's what it could be. But again, with NextGuard or with Primodox, it could be safer from parvovirus. With NextGuard from endo and ectoparasite, and it's really one and done. Maybe he meant the dose. Okay, the dose. The dose of what now? So if you could be clearer, then we could. Can NextGuard be used on pregnant and lactating dogs? Dr. Moses, I'm eager to answer that, but I will allow you answer that, sir.
Yes, I think one of the last slides I presented, I did mention that it could be used on pregnant dogs, and I think that is a solution. It's part of the solution you can bring to the table as a veterinarian. You know, it's some of the times you have quacks go around and say they want to deworm a pregnant dog. And at the end of the day, abortion happens, and then the guy runs away. But I mean, he has caused a problem, you know, for the owner. So we are saying that with NextGuard, yes, even when a dog is pregnant, you can use it, and you can also use it even when they are lactating. This is part of the innovation that is being brought to the table. So I mean, for veterinarians, it's time to make money. It's time for you to take NextGuard and just, you don't need to hold the dog and start or get beaten. I mean, all you need to do is drop it. It comes with a flavor of beef. Just drop it close, and the dog, if I mean the owner is there and gives the command, eat, the dog is just going to take it. And I mean, it's easy in, easy out. There's no big challenge with NextGuard. And if Femi says expensive, I would say relative to what? Expensive relative to other things in the market, or relative, you know, to the cost of the puppy. From my perspective, it is not expensive at all because I mean, one tab, do the maths, and you are solving all problems of endoparasite and ectoparasite with just one tab. Expensive relative to what? To the cost of the puppy or relative to the things that are in the market currently? Do your maths, compare with other things, you'll find out that it is not expensive at all. Rather, it's here to make you richer, wealthier as a vet and make life more easy. The practice gets easier for you. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Moses. I was with somebody yesterday and he said he lost 11 puppies to parvo.
You can
So you
imagine
don't
that.
you don't need to lose all those puppies. At 4 weeks, quickly administer Primodog, and then you could raise your safety level to 90%. No other instrument in the market guarantees this level of safety against parvovirus. Somebody is asking for what's the cost. Okay, no. Before then, okay, the answer is yes, it can be used in pregnant and lactating dogs without any cause of worry. What could be the cost? So, Dr. Ayo, if you're on this call, and Dr. Janet, so you could just drop your number on the chat. We usually don't give out cost in meetings like this because we don't know. We operate a very closed business. We only sell to people who sell to others, and we're trying to be a bit private about that. But it's nothing within what you could not afford. So Dr. Ayo, Dr. Janet, kindly drop contacts. Dr. Chioma, if you're also on this call, you can also drop your contact, but state your region. Dr. Chioma is in Port Harcourt, Dr. Ayo is in Ibadan, Dr. Janet is in Kano, Dr. Williams, Dr. Faith is in Abuja. So you can easily reach out to any of them based on what is closer to you. Somebody is using very tough and intense word. So I will not want to read everything. So, but he's trying to get the guarantee that it will not disappear in the market. I'm also eager to answer that, but I will let you handle that. He's
Yeah.
saying that Primodogs, you told us Primodogs appeared and disappeared. That what is the guarantee that it will not disappear again? That's Dr.
The guarantee is solid, and that is why we are doing this. In 2020, we did a launch, I think was in NSGA Spectra in 2020, and the challenges of COVID followed, and it was the same that affected Primodog and certain destabilizing situations. But I can assure you at this point it's back for good. And so feel free to add it to your vaccination schedule at 4 weeks. After 3 days, the antibody titer begins to build just after 3 days. By the time it's getting 7 weeks thereabout, you're already talking of 90% seroconversion. So solid immunity. But it's, I don't know, this question talks about NexGard for cattle or for no. NexGard is specifically produced for dogs. NexGard Spectra is very, very specifically produced for dogs. And Primodog, when you use, is once. You just use Primodog once. You don't need to repeat. You use it at 4 weeks or use it at 6 weeks, and then you continue with your normal DHLPP. Like I said, it's not coming to replace DHLPP, but don't forget that one of the P in DHLPP is parvo. So we are saying earlier protection. You are coming in earlier at 4 weeks, and it does not affect the maternally derived antibody. So your schedule will look something like 4 weeks Primodog, 8 weeks DHLPP continues, or 6 weeks Primodog, 8 weeks DHLPP continues. That becomes, the new introduction. And I mean, when you try from your experience, I'm sure you encourage others to use. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. Somebody is asking, so he said stay line. So I don't know what you mean by stay line, but I think you mean NexGard. Dr. Moses had said it's just in dogs, so it's not in small ruminants. But yes, NexGard is available in JOS. Available at the VTH. Is also available with Dr. Daphne. I don't know whether she's on this call, but she has some NexGard. Thank you so much for the presentation. Is NexGard dose based on weight. So NexGard Spectra. Yes. Okay, Dr. Moses, is it those?
Yeah, it is. It is those weights. You can start using at 1.35 kg to 2 kg, or as soon as your dog is 8 weeks. And let me use this time. Thank you for asking that question. There are presentations of NexGard. You have the NexGard small, NexGard medium, NexGard large, NexGard extra large. So it depends on where your dog falls or the puppy falls. When you want to use it, you need to say, oh, my dog is the small breed. So because there is the small, there's the large, there's the medium, there's the extra large. But generally speaking, from 1.35 to 2 kg, you can use NexGard, and also from 8 weeks of age, whichever works for you. But again, like I said, there are different presentations for different dog sizes. Yeah.
All right, so let me take a moment to thank us all that joined. We have closing up to 100 in this call. Thank you for your interest in the presentation. After using Primodog, for how long will the immunity last? Will a booster be needed? Okay, so I think you have answered that question, but you could re-answer it.
Yeah, I've just said you don't need a booster. You don't. It's just one. You do that once, either 4 weeks, and 4 weeks will be because you have looked at your environment. There's the parvo is endemic, and or you could just do 6 weeks. And like I said, make sure you still continue your DHLPP. What the target is here is against parvo for Primodog, because it is a monovalent vaccine. It does not contain anything more than parvo, because the idea here is to solve the parvo problem. And the way to solve the parvo problem is to come earlier, and do this. Yeah.
So somebody is asking that what if we permanently stop all this problem, that which other diseases is it there in the field that they will need to make money from? It's just like somebody who has a coffin business and is praying for people not to die. There's no way there will not be death. Okay, let me allow you answer that, please.
I don't have an answer to that. Just face what is in front of you, get it done, and let's. I mean, the whole idea is to solve issues, solve problem. You want to make your clientele base a happy one. You want to make your clients happy. You want to be able to solve their problems. You want to be able to say, oh, you used to lose your lead.
Okay, so I don't know
After
whether.
3 days
Okay.
begins to already. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, sir. You froze a
No,
little.
I was just trying to say that if you use a vaccine and already after 3 days, there's already antibody build up. I mean, what more are we looking for?
Okay, so he also continued that the innovation is nice, but it was like the manufacturer said 6 weeks. Why are we saying 4 weeks?
Um, if you can go back the slides
Mm.
or go and read some more.
Yeah.
We are scientists, like I said, and we are veterinarians. It's 6 weeks, but it can be done at 4 weeks. Go back to that. Is it the flyer or the postal in my presentation?
Yes, okay, I can quickly go back.
Yeah.
So the manufacturer also
The
said
other one, yeah, the manufacturer also says, if you read this flyer, it
as early
says
as
it can
4 weeks of
also be
age.
used as early as 4 weeks. So that is it there from
Mm.
the manufacturer.
Mm.
So yes, 6 weeks, but 4 weeks is also very safe. And like I said, all of this thing comes back to the epidemiology and the endemicity of the infection around your area. If you know that puppies are always dying around your area, if I were you, I would go for 4 weeks, not 6 weeks.
All right, so somebody's saying, where can we get all this product? Please, Dr. Ayo, Dr. Janet, if you're on the call and you're a partnership and growth manager, state your region, and then you can also drop your contact. Thank you, Mr. President. So somebody has acknowledged that you're Mr. President, but again, on this call, he's our consultant for the insightful presentation. Please, can the vaccine be administered when the puppy has started showing signs of parvovirus?
You need to treat first. As a principle of vaccination, always you treat. And again, I would liken it to what we see in poultry. Some of the times, sorry to say this, but I've seen some of our veterinarians. The chicken is already down. with Newcastle, and he walks in there and he say revaccinate. There is no such thing in science. You treat before you revaccinate. And the reason why we get away with this murder is because Lasota takes at 5 days. If you use something like Avenue that is a VGGA strain, and you revaccinate immediately, and those chicken are already incubating Newcastle in 24 hours, I can tell you that that client will take you to court. So you don't revaccinate, you treat and then you revaccinate. And the same goes, it's a principle. You treat and you revaccinate. We get away with that because Lasota doesn't start to, the vaccine does not take until day 5 and above. So we revaccinate Lasota, and then at the same time we are giving antibiotics. It's not science at all. You can't be giving antibiotics and at the same time you are giving a vaccine. The two does not go together. But because the vaccine does not take until day 5 and 6, we do it and it's become a thing, but it does not make it correct. Because the day you get innovative products like the VGGA strain against ND, and you tell the client revaccinate, and this chicken are already incubating Newcastle in 24 hours, the guy will start calling you because his chickens will start dying in a very massive way. So treat before you vaccinate.
As a rule, you don't vaccinate a sick dog.
Yeah, you don't. And any healthy animal should not be vaccinated. You treat, then you vaccinate or revaccinate. Yeah.
So are these medications readily available in veterinary stores? I like the question, one of my best questions. But again, numbers should be dropping. At the end of the day, if we don't see those numbers, I will drop my personal numbers. We're actively recruiting distributors across the country. Yesterday, we were on a tour to all veterinary outlets in Abuja. We have in Jos, we have in Ibadan, we have in Port Harcourt. So please, you can easily reach out to me if you're confused as to where to get it, and also help us redistribute. Dr. Makinde in Ota in Ogun State, can Primodog be used for adult dogs too? Can Primodog be
Yeah,
used for dogs?
the target, the idea here is to establish an early immune foundation. So the idea is a targeting of the puppies. It doesn't mean that it cannot be used in the adult dog, but the target here is to have early immune foundation. I mean, when do you do DHLPP? You do DHLPP at 8 weeks, then every 2 to 4 weeks you repeat. It's like saying, do I do DHLPP to adult dogs? The issue is there is a vaccination regimen, and for DHLPP you are supposed to actually keep vaccinating until your dog is at least 26 weeks of age, and then you start to now vaccinate maybe every 2 years, 3 years, as the case may be. But normally you are actually supposed to vaccinate your dog until at least 26 weeks. But what we do in this climb is we just do 8 weeks, and we do after 4 weeks, we do it 3 times, and everybody goes to bed. So that would be the way I would choose to answer that. The idea is early vaccination so that you establish an early immune foundation and make it solid.
All right, thank you so much. I love this question also. He said, wouldn't there be a viral neutralization from the parvovirus vaccine in DHLPP if used after 2 weeks of giving Primodog? I know we attended to that also in Jos.
This is what we are selling. This is exactly the selling point of this vaccine. The fact that it does not interfere. The science behind it makes sure it does not interfere with maternally derived antibody, and you can actually follow up with DHLPP. It's not a vector vaccine. It's not a vector engineered vaccine where you are suspecting maybe the carrier here is also the same in the other vaccine. So you don't want the carrier to conflict with the other one and neutralize each other. No, it's a different science. And this is one of the selling points exactly. There is no interference.
Thank you. So no interference. And you see, that's why it's a next generation vaccine. It doesn't interfere with maternal antibody. There's no cross interference with other vaccines. Just use it, safety profile high. Okay, so I see somebody drop his contact in Kaduna. So Dr. Jenna, please help me call the contact. Let's be sure he's also one of us. Les is selling the NextGuard from China. It's not from China. NextGuard Spectra is from France. And then if it's not NextGuard Spectra, it's not NextGuard Spectra. But again, as I said, we're actively recruiting distributors. you can call Dr. Janet, Dr. Ayo. They will be able to direct you. So Dr. Arnold from Kuje, you're also dropping your number. I need to be sure whether you're dropping your number for the purchase or for the for redistribution. So again, so as people are dropping their numbers, you could, but contact our partnership and growth managers. We need people to help us redistribute. I think within another 3 to 6 months, because we're also educating breeders and then also dog owners, a trial will convince them. When we went out yesterday, we just said, just you have a dog with plenty tick on the body. Don't think twice, don't talk twice, or with mange, skin issues. Just give one tab of NexGard Spectra. You will be amazed. This is something I've also done personally in Monrovia. It's one of our highest selling product in Monrovia currently. And a trial will definitely convince you. Somebody say, thank you, Mr. Penn. Please, for knowledge sake and further clarification, what is the dose of antibiotic growth do a viral vaccine if given subcutaneous? So I'm not sure if I understand this. I'm not sure if I understand this. What's the dose of, please, what dose an antibiotic drug do to a viral vaccine if given subcutaneous? So I'm not sure if I understand this question. But again, if you need to re-ask the question, I think it would be a good thing. So somebody said charity starts at home. Yes,
I think I have an understanding. I think I suspect what, again, I'll defer to poultry. People want to vaccine inside the same diluent, same as the marriage vaccine, and the vaccine. The question is, what exactly are we doing? For a vaccine, a virus that is cell associated, you take the diluent back and then you put gentamicin inside the same diluent as the marriage vaccine. What science is behind that? I mean, you are going to lyse some of those cells, and then the title you are already conferring will reduce. So it is not science to be doing antibiotics simultaneously with vaccination. It is not. If an animal is sick, you treat, and then you vaccinate the healthy animal. I'm guessing that is what the fellow is trying to ask.
All right. So somebody said charity begins at home. Fortunately, to also announce that our consultant is also has his origin from Kogi. So we will attend to you specially. Maybe on a final note before thanking our consultant.
What is that? What is that?
I think it's Dr. Victor Amedu. So he's putting in his number, but he has contacted me earlier that he also wants to
No, I
distribute.
mean the charity thing. What is that?
No, he's saying we are not mentioning Kogi as part of the distribution point, but I guess he wants to take up the offer for Kogi, and we're happy to get you on board. So that's on a lighter mode, really.
Right.
So, but Dr. Victor, happy to be in touch with you. As we said, Primodog is here. We have enough, and it will not go out of the market again. NexGard is here. We have enough. It won't go out of the market again. Frontline is also here. We have enough, and it will not go out of the market again. What we are currently doing is actively recruiting people that will help us spread it. Farmalad has distribution center in Ibadan, in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Kano, and then of course in Abuja. But our business model doesn't allow us sell directly. We don't do that. We don't sell directly to pet owners. We only sell to people like you so that people like you can sell to others. And so please keep the message coming. My private number is open. Our partnership and growth manager, Dr. Chioma in Port Harcourt, Dr. Ayo in Ibadan, Dr. Janet in Kano, Dr. Tolu and Dr. Faith in Abuja. And I'm also actively available. If you want to distribute, we are happy to take this conversation away from online to have it discussed actively. More of these meetings will keep coming up. We'll keep it short and brief. And then, of course, we will keep it going until every pet owner is assured of quality quality solutions from you as a veterinarian. Dr. Moses, I don't know if there's going to be a final word while we try to wrap up this 1 hour conversation.
From me, I would just say this is a solution, a one-stop shop, especially looking at the NextGuard Spectra part of it. One and done. You use one tab, you are taking care of endo and ectoparasite. It makes life easy for your client, for yourself, and who says you could not, ask for the same service or ask for more, but you are using a simpler way, to solve the problem. And for Primodog, it's like magic. Just be bold, move into any area where there is powerful challenge and just tell them, I came with the solution. And then you try once, you have this, and maybe you want to dominate that area for a while before somebody else come, you quickly make your money and go away. But for me, I'm just saying, that's on a lighter note, but I'm just saying there is innovation. Science is, when the world is changing every day. So there are solutions here. Let's take it, let's run with it, and let's put more solutions. So that will be my final word. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Moses. To also add, all products are from Boehringer Ingelheim in Germany. And one of the things you know about BI is the quality of their product. So when you're ordering with confidence. It's not China, it's BI. BI is the largest privately owned animal health company in the whole world. And the level of certification that has been put into producing this is unmatched. I see people compare NextGuard Spectra with other products similar to it. And the only thing I just do is I just smile. What you need to do is just to order a pack or a box and then use it. And I'm happy to receive feedback from you once you have used it. With this, I want to thank every member of my team, the partnership and growth team, doing an amazing job across the country, and everybody from Farmalat who has joined. And also want to thank our consultant who is helping us champion this. Thank you so much, Dr. Moses. Together, I think we can build a much more robust and inspired pet community that everybody will be proud. Don't worry, if you solve the problem now, there will still be something you could make money from. And by the way, there's a lot of money to be made with NextGuard Spectra. So let us grow this community together. Thank you, everyone, for your time. We recorded almost 100 in this meeting, and that is super impressive. Till next time, I want to wish every one of us a happy, wonderful evening. Please keep using NextGuard Spectra, Primodog, and Frontline, and let's have a wonderful community together. Thank you, and bye from me. Bye. Thank you, Dr.
Okay,
Moses.
bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.